Om Namah Shivaya. I am Professor Rudra Prasanna Mahapatra from Bhubaneswar, Odisha, India. I am an astrologer and astro researcher. I make videos for serious astro enthusiasts, mostly astro students, astrologers. We all are astro students, including me, but till say it is the beginners. And not for those persons who are quite casual about astrology, just want to know out of curiosity. I am saying again that do not try to be a doctor out of curiosity. Either you are a doctor or you are not a doctor. You cannot become doctor by watching YouTube. Similarly, you cannot become an astrologer by watching YouTube. If you are becoming so, then you are a threat to yourself first because you will miscalculate your own horoscope or misjudge your own horoscope, your family's horoscopes, others' horoscopes you are looking, that means you are also a threat to the society and also a threat for the astrological fraternity. Not really an astrologer, but claiming to be an astrologer because you learn from YouTube. I am not saying those who are actually serious students taking online classes via YouTube. Yes, that is accepted. But those casual interest holders, my videos are not for them. So do not put any message. You can listen to me if you want to know what I am saying, at least one video. But my videos are not meant for the casual listeners. I am not predicting any Rashi Phala, Masa Phala, like that. Anyway, so let us discuss today a very interesting and relevant topic known as myths or facts about Kuja Dosha or Mangal Dosha. Okay, so the right term may be cancellations of Mangal Dosha because the last few days I was reading some books discussing with some astrologers the cancellation of Kuja Dosha. So unlike the so-called or the created or the superstitious, yes, superstitious is the right term, Kala Sarpa Yoga or KSY, Kuja Dosha you can find pretty well mentioned in our classics. Yes, starting from Parasara to Jataka Parijata. But by the time Kuja Dosha reached Jataka Parijata, Lagna Mangala is not considered as a Kuja Dosha. I don't know why. Shiva. If you want to know that something known as Kucha Dosha exists, you must understand Kuja first, or Mangal, or Mars first. Let's use the word Mars. Because at least in our state or even adjacent states, if I say Kuja, people say, what is this? Maybe some hunchback. Huh? So it is Mars. Mars is the significator of violence. Mars is the significator of physical violence, fighting. Okay, So Mars in the workplace or 10th house. Is it a Kuja Dosha? No, sir, it is not Kuja Dosha. But can I say that person will face this violent activities or will be violent in their workplace? Yes, you can say because Mars is guiding the 10th house, riding the 10th house. I'll say Mars is also accidents. Mars in the 12th house, hospitalization accidents. Yes, possible. Don't think the Kuja Dosha in perspective of marriage only. First, like we all have blamed Saturn. Yes, it is pure blaming, nothing else. We have blamed Saturn so much that it is now very good, or it has been a very good medium to extract money from people by some commercial astrologers. As Guruvar Ken Rao used to say that three planets, if you remove Sani Mangal and Rahu, income of commercial astrologer is gone. I'm not against any commerce. I'm not against any kind of earning, but it should not be corruption. There is nothing called KSY or Kala Sarpa, so it should not be marketed. There is nothing like the so-called Sadhasati. Yes, Sadhasati is there. Sadhasati is nothing but the transit of Saturn over Moon for 7.5 years. It is there. But as per the Dasa, it also gives result, good results, bad results, whatever it may be. But the way it is used, it is again a corruption. To scare people and to the money you are getting out of this is wrong. But unlike that, Kuja Dosha you will find the references in classics. So first, like Saturn, Mars you see the signification. It is violence, fighting, everything. Lagna Mangal, that person will be violent, yes. Here, if the Mangal is with Moon or in the Chandra Lagna, because Maharshi Parasara mostly focused to see this Ujja Dosha from Moon actually, Chandra Lagna, not from Lagna. Later on Lagna is added. Because it exhibits the attitude of the person. Anger is an attitude. Even if you are not physically capable, but you may be highly aggressive. So aggression in the fourth house, conflict in home. Aggression in the seventh house, conflict with wife. But aggression is necessary somewhere. Sixth house, the house of fighting, house of competition. That is why Mars is said to be that the best house for Mars is sixth house. Mars represents the sixth house. It is competition. If you say the house of Mars is six. So generally, I have said all these things. Now, out of this, if you see, seventh Mars will create fighting with spouse, either of. Not good. So there come the concept, Kuja Dosha. But interestingly, in our classics, Kuja Dosha is not saying that you will remain unmarried. Like if something is promised, the other thing should happen. Like if in a horoscope you have the chance to lose your child, then at least you should have a child first. Similarly, if you have a condition of separation of marriage, then at least you should have a marriage first. If marriage is not there, then where come the separation will come? So Kuja Dosha is not a denial of marriage. It's not a separation of marriage. I mean, I am just quoting the classics. It is saying either of the spouse not having the Kuja Dosha will die after the marriage. Yes. Cessation of spouse. Earlier days, in our culture, we are not into a situation where men and women were being treated equally because we have witnessed the Sati Pratha. Thanks to Raja Rammohan Rai for the social reformation he brought to India. But anyway, so you are only looking for the Kuja Dosha in the female chart. Let the husband be alive. The wife is dying and the husband will go for another marriage. Divorce is very recent concept, you know. If you read many books, I am quoting also. Vishnu Smriti, the book is Vishnu Smriti, written by Nanda Pandit, if I remember correctly, in 1867 or 97. It is quoting that person from the Kshatriya caste can marry two wives. Yes. So in our culture, it's like that. But anyway, let's not get into that. What I am saying is, it was not seen in case of the gents horoscope, only in case of female. That is why it is earlier it is found under the section of female horoscopy or Stri Jataka, not in male. But it is not true. As Guruvar Kendra always say that you have to go beyond classics to apply the principles of astrology with changing time and space. Nowadays, if wife dies also, it is not a good situation. So why don't you say, or sorry, see the Mangal dosa in case of both the spouses? Yes, I mean not to marriage match, but to the see that if thing is happening. But in practical cases, Mangal in six houses: one, second, seven, eight, 4 and 12. The six houses, Mangal is said to make the Kuja dosa. Later on, Lagna is little bit neglected. I do not know why. Because Lagna Mangala is aspecting the fourth house, aspecting the seventh house, and aspecting the eighth house too. It is regulating four houses altogether. If Mangal is in Lagna, so it must create a very strong Kuja dosa. If a strong Mars, strong Akaraka Mars say, Akaraka means not Yogakaraka or not exalted like that. We'll come to the cancellation. This is going to be a very good video actually. But that means most of us, Mangal stays around 1 month in a Rasi, so most of us will go for this Kuja dosa. But practically it does not happen. All of us will not happen go for this widow or widower. But conflict in marriage is there. Now the concept of divorce has come up, so you should be very careful of these conflicts, which is again physical. Verbal conflict is Saturn, remember. Physical conflict is Mars. Or verbal fighting Saturn, physical fighting Mars, fighting with weapon is Ketu. So if this this even Mangal is not present, Ketu is present. Can you say this is also fighting? Yes. So we have to see the Kuja Dosha in current context in a terms like conflict and separation of marriage. Conditions apply, Karakas and seventh lord. Venus, Moon, and seventh lord extremely strong, not pleasurable marital life, conflicting marital life may not be resulted in separation. So now, Mangal, the negative Mangal, apart from sixth house Shiva, Lagna, Mangal necessary Shiva to get into sports, force. Hmm. But the violence, the signification of Mars, the violence is not accepted in certain sphere. Say it is even 10th house. No, so much violence may not be nowadays not accepted because you are not in a government office anymore. You say something and next day they will say it is okay. You are in private, you're getting much more violence. Immediately letter will be sued. So even 10th Mars, Kuja Dosha, so far as job is concerned. So these are some extensions of this. But I am not talking of that Kuja Dosha. I am talking that in the marital context. Having said that six houses in a horoscope, I mean 50%, if occupied by Mars, will lead to Kuja Dosa. There are a lot of cancellations to this dosa. The house where Mars is posited, if that lord is exalted, it is cancelled. If Mars is being aspected by a benefic like Jupiter, it is cancelled. If Mars is in some houses also like Aquarius and Leo, this Kuja Dosa will not work. But Gayatri Devi Vasudev in her book, Understanding Kuja Dosa, has clearly mentioned that even if it is there, but practically we have seen situations are not working. True, true. Because Mars is violence. If Mars is extremely strong in the chart, I mean strong means I always say about Sadvara. If it is posited in Lagna or even 10th house, aspecting Lagna, aspecting fourth house, then that person will be very violent in nature. So what is the contra for this? If husband is like that, let the wife also be like that. So they both will be contending. I remember my days in boxing ring. If it is a fight between the services means this from armed forces, and in state sports board, say it Tamil Nadu, Odisha, whatever, the fight is going to be one-sided. But if it is a fight between the services sports board and the railway sports board, the fight will continue. This is going to be very good fighting. One will win definitely, but the fight will continue at least. None of them will be knocked down. Same principles here in Kuja Dosa. If you are a good fighter, I am also a good fighter, we will able to fight with each other. But is it true? Is it true? Because even if the husband and wife are fighting, the resilience is given by moon. The resilience is given by moon. If moon is weak, then it will again lead to separation. Though moon is also a karaka for marriage, but till assuming that seventh lord is also strong, but moon is very, very weak. So that person will always go for depression, also take wrong decision, also leading to separation of marriage. So Kuja Dosa, personally I will say, is underexplained, is overinterpreted. Hmm? Yes. because in our classics it's confined to female horoscopes. Nowadays, in case of marital discards, this is the primary people are looking for it. But till then, even if you are looking for the cancellations, it is not working. What can be the possible cancellations of a Kuja Dosha? If at all we think that it is the death of either spouse, look for the longevity of the other spouse. If you see the longevity of the girl is very, very strong, I mean the Gayu applying the principles placed forward by Maharshi Parasa. And you see the Mangal dos is with also the husband had the Mangal dos. So will it lead to a death of the other spouse? No. Vice versa also. But fighting, yes. Yes. Few astrologers view eighth Mangal or Mangal in the eighth house, Mars in the eighth house if Kuja dosha is getting created. This is the case where it is a death of either of the spouses. How impractical. Your Mangal is in the eighth house, being Akaraka may lead to an accidental death for you, yes, provided your longevity is calculated, not for the other spouse. Right? Now, your spouse is seventh. So, seventh Mangal, yes, Mangal is controlling your spouse. We can say that your spouse will be, having, a good height. Because Mangal is good physique is Mangal, not height, because for height also we have to consider Saturn to some extent, Sun also. But anyway, so how much we have Mangal dos is under explained and overestimated by the present day astrologers. Mangal dos is there? Yes, it is there. Cancellation is there? Yes, it is there. But is it occurring? No. Even Mangal dos is not there. Like I said, Mangal is in the 10th house, aspecting the Lagna, or Mangal in the 10th house along with the Lagnesh. Okay. But Mangal is the most powerful planet in the chart in terms of Sarvara. Say it is around 8 rupees. So it will control Lagnas. The person will be violent. Provided the seventh lord is weak and also the Karak of Venus and Moon, can we predict that the marriage will go for the separation? Yes, of course. Precisely. But whenever we are predicting about marriages or progenies, always remember never predict anything 100% from one horoscope. The 100% you predict from the horoscope of boy is overall 50%. Agreed? Because this prediction should be done combinedly. In your chart, these are the problem, that are the problem. But sir, you said everything, but my marriage life is good. But a damn look at for the other chart. That must be extremely good combination for marriage. So here the mitigation I understand possible, but only in the form of Kuja Dosha. Ketu can also lead to separation. Saturn, yes, provided other conditions like seventh lord is weak, other things are there. Saturn now being the sixth lord, posited in seventh, like Leo ascendant, conflict. If little bit cooperation you will get, the sixth lord of your spouse is also being activated. Separation, yes, separation by divorce. You no need of Kuja Dosha. So Kuja Dosha was basically meant to find out whether both of them will survive or not. Separation to other things were not mentioned. Conflicts in marital life is evident. Nowadays, as I say, that two planets are getting aggravated now. Rahu is Kali, is something irrational, is something corruption, and also violence is getting activated. You can see that the son is beating the father. Well, in 100 years back, these things were not happening. There was a balance in society. But the imbalance has happened primarily due to these two planets, Mangal and Rahu. So now the significance of Mangal and Rahu should be very carefully evaluated from any chart. Mangal, you think that divorce was you if you put Kuja Dosha as a significator for divorce, a contra question from my side is there were no divorces 50 or 70, 50 years back. Forget about 60, 70. 50 years back, no divorce. 50, 60 years back. This DV Act was not there, nothing like that. So, the husband, wife, they are fighting. Ultimately, either of them is getting killed, and things were happening like that. But the very rare cases, but till marriages were going on. Kuja Dosha were not there. Yes, Kuja were there, Dosha were there. But it was not resulting in divorce. Nowadays, as I said, that things are being activated, time has changed. So you can take it, Shiva, Kuja Dosha, as a part of separation, provided Mangal is in the seventh house. Because we are saying separation, so if sixth lord should be very strong, seventh lord must be weak, and Mangal should have connection with the seventh lord. Then only you can go for divorce. Mangal is creating the dosa in the eighth house, suppose. Mangal is creating the dosa in the fourth house, though aspecting the seventh house too. Hmm. But there I will not consider it that Mangal will do the separation for it. Seventh Lord association should be there. Even if Mangal is not creating or not placed in the seventh house, seventh Lord with Mangal in the sixth house can go for conflict, yes, for sure. Mangal is violence. Now, the next dosa coming up is no, what is coming up? It's Ketu dosa for separation. The Manda or Sunny, as it is verbal and it is slower in its process, so I will not accredit divorce to Saturn. Personally, conditions apply. I never go for snapshot prediction. There is nothing called snapshot prediction in astrology. Once you see the chart, planets should say you every planet's combinedly. Yes, Ketu Dosa may come later. A divorce or increase in Ketu in seventh, divorce separation chances. Every astrologer will agree with me. So and Kujbat Ketu. So is Ketu is also creating one kind of Mangal dos. Hmm. The only thing how Ketu separates from Mangal is it is introvert. It can manage to stay alone to some extent, depending on the Lagnesh and Moon. But till then, it's also very, very violent. That is why Ketu in the sixth house. Mangal in sixth good, but Ketu in sixth house is extreme. But anyway, let's not divert the topic. If you open any Panchangam, you will see there are many cancellation rule of Kuja Dosha. So now let me systematize what I have said. Kuja Dosha necessarily saying it is the death of either of the spouse, not having the Kuja Dosha. It is not saying separation. It is not saying denial of marriage. Number one. Number two, can Kuja Dosha will also happen if Mars is in the 10th house because it is aspecting 4th house and your first house. Can Kuja Dosha is getting cancelled when Mars is in the 12th house because Mars in the 12th house is getting a lot of signification lost? Hmm? Or Kuja Dosha is like taking the violence element or the violent element of Mars, putting into the marital affairs? Or can you say Kuja Dosha is restricted to the 7th and 4th house? Mangal in the 4th house, conflict in the home. Mangal in the 7th house, conflict with Shiva, with spouse, fight with spouse. Can we consider these two houses enough for Kuja Dosha? And why to consider the cancellation of Kuja Dosha while the other one should have the Kuja Dosha too? Both of them Kuja Dosha end up with fighting, but a weak moon of either of them may lead to a separation in marriage because that person will not able to have that resilience. Resilience, if somebody of not understand is, if you're being defeated, then you again come back for a fight. But what if you're defeated, but you go for a suicide? Yes, you have seen students three times failed in matriculation, still happy. Student failed with only 2 marks from matriculation, committed suicide. No resilience. Moon. That is why I say that moon is necessary for studentship along with Mercury. Or else there, at least for competitive exam, it is a must. Or else there will be no resilience. So beautiful astrology, provided you can read it correctly. If Kuja dosha is there, can there be something known as Ketu dosha? Why not? And Kuja dosha is not a sole and one and only necessity for separation or separation of marriage, not denial. Kuja dosha is not saying denial, of course. Hmm. So Kuja dosha, underdefined and overestimated. So now the interpretation or conclusion is, see how the Mars is affecting Lagnes and the seventh lord or Lagna or seventh house. These are the two houses responsible for marital pleasure. Basically, we have also the provision to see the Mangal dosh from Moon, also from Venus. Yes, Venus Mangal dosh is said to be most malefic. But the house-wise maleficents are not mentioned. Whether Mangal is the first is highly malefic, Mangal in the seventh is creating a strong yoga, no. But Mangal from Venus is also creating Kujoda. So you see 6 houses and three combinations from three. Lagna, Chandra Lagna and Sukra Lagna. See, so it is over aggravated. If Mangal is getting any connection with the Lagna at the seventh house or a moon, so then you can think of this marital discord. Number one. Number two, both having Kuja Dosha will go for a separate, will go for okay. Look for two conditions. Whether Mars is equally strong for both the chart. You are a fighter, I am a fighter, but I am a better fighter than you, then you will be very badly defeated. And see the position of moon. Even if Kuja Dosha is getting matched, see the position of moon because they are from where you can able to handle the psychological pressure. Mars is physical fighting. It is physical fighting means you can see. I must not be reluctant to say, but the husband is slapping the wife Shiva, or wife may be doing something to husband, but I'm not saying anybody is doing. They should not do, but I'm not saying it is only the men who are doing it. Women are not doing it. So those men, are saying that we are also tortured by our wives. So it's okay. Whoever is torturing whom, but the resilient power is given by moon. So even Kujados is getting matched. Check for the strength of Mangal. If Mangal is very much strong in somebody's chart and it is posited in the Lagna, and the other Mangalos is being created in the eighth house and is not that much strong, maybe in the other chart, if even it is not being created but Mangal is in the sixth house, that person may be able to contain. I do not know the karmic connection. Okay, I'll come to that later. So these are the things you should see instead of directly putting into Kuja Dosa. So two things are coming to my mind. Kuja Dosa is going to Kuja Dosa is going to little bit skeptic nowadays. Like it has been created, but practically not working that much. Either the dosa or the cancellations. It is created because at that time social disciplines were very strong. Violence was not tolerated. Now that I'm not talking of the violence against the women, it was there to some extent in a patriarchal society like India, but I said mental or physical violence, I should not deny the historical facts. But besides, in society, violence was not there. Like you can see this murders, other things happening so rampantly, though here I am. Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev said it was there, but it was not being highlighted. But little bit I am debating from him that yes, crimes and violence are increasing with the rise of population and the time. Yes, Kali Yuga. Okay. So kind of brutal murder, other things were not happening earlier. The brutality was absent. So Mangal is getting activated overall in the mundane phenomenon so that you are looking into the chart for Mangal. But Mangal is not not hampering your marital life. Lagna Mangal, you are a very good person in force, armed forces, police forces. And you see, I do not know if you map the statistics also in these forces, divorces are not rampant like other. They live good life. I don't know how, but it's happening. Practically, it is happening. You see, police officer, armed officers. That means the mass is strong, but chances are divorces are less. It's not practically happening. But let's not get into that. Final thing I am coming to is the karmic relations. It is said that Mars in Leo and Aquarius is not going to hamper. I cannot define. Leo, the fiery signs theater, Aquarius, the airy signs theater, 180 degree to each other. Why Mangal is saying to be Cancer there? If this Mangal dosha is being created, is it nullifying any kind of karmic bondage so far as marriage is concerned? I don't know. Practically, it should not be possible because your karmic bondage can be seen from your chart. If your seventh lord is strong, if your seventh house is strong, I mean, not on aspected by malefics, not hemmed between malefics, or you call it Papa Kartari, then you will have your horoscope is promising a good marriage life. Also, take the Karaka. Whenever you talk of Karaka, also, this is also remember Moon is for love marriage, Venus is for arranged marriage. Love marriage is now rampant. So the Karakottu of Moon is superseding Venus so far as marriage is concerned. They are not equally responsible anymore. Marriage, arranged marriage, you look for many things, then you go for Venus. But love marriage is Moon. We have to do this kind of segregation because time is changing. So we have to see somebody is going for love marriage means first look for the Moon. Venus you can neglect to many extent. So your marriage, how it is happened? Love marriage, sir. Signification is Moon primarily. Love marriage, you are looking for Venus, not getting the result, obvious. Anyway, let's not get into that. But now, is there any kind of karmic cancellation is happening between the husband and wife only through Mangal? No, I do not think so. Karmic connection, cancellation, whatever that may be, it happens to all the planets. Mangal is just you are again blaming Mangal for that. So, like Kala Sarpa, like Sadasati, Kuja Dosha is also being over aggravated. Yes, so far as you can logically take the violence, I say that in the so called Kala Sarpa, 50% horoscope is blank. Similarly, you can logically take here the violence signification of Mars and interpret. And if you are taking Mars, why not Ketu? Yes, third point is that can Ketu Dosha be there as violence is increasing? The husband so the wife is stabbing with knife. Husband, you have seen this kind of cases. Earlier, you don't have knives. You are using this kitchen cutter. So can we again blame Ketu for that? Whatever. But primarily, the purpose of making this video is Kuja Dosa, underdefined and over aggravated. It is not what it is said, or it should not be what it is promising. Very clear. So, as Guruvar Ken Rao used to say, Sani Mangal Rahu. So, Sani Sadesati, Mangal Dos, Rahu is Rakshasa. Rahu is there. But now, at least at this time, Rahu is good. In Kali Yuga, if Rahu is good, that person will succeed. In all this sphere, actually. Marriage is good, of course, because Rahu is the signification of love, bed pleasure. So, seventh Rahu is good. Yes. Seventh Ketu is not good, of course. It should not be because Rahu and Ketu are opposite. So is it like we are over aggregating it? Just looking Kuja quite rudimentarily, not actually estimating the violence or the intensity of that violence, not estimating the resilience in the horoscope, not estimating the marital pleasure from the seventh house in that horoscope. Yes, we are doing those mistakes. It's so easy to see a horoscope with this dosa. Kala Sarpa. Just push the horoscope away. I have seen this kind of things. So easy for an astrologer that planets are hemmed. Now you see the challenge. You see where the planets are posited in the Navamsa and other. It's a very interesting, but Kala Sarpa. Kuja Dosha. They are just working like stoppers for to view. And those who don't know astrology, they will behave like this. So those yoga conditions apply. Always remember. Gajakesari yoga, nothing is happening. No, no. Yoga, those conditions apply. Your other conditions in the charts, also the social milieu, also the social milieu. Gajakesari yoga for a tribe in the Andaman Nicobar is not same as the Gajakesari yoga for relative of Ambani's. Hmm. Okay, so I am done with today's video. Those who have done significant research on Kucha Dosa, I'm not saying published papers, but have found something very interesting. Like actually, this Kuja Dosa is getting cancelled when because there is one sect is mentioned like if Mangal is in Cancer and Cancer is the second house, then Mangal dosa will not be there. Rasi and Kuja dosa, there is a relation completely mentioned. That cancellation of Mangal dosa. But is it really happening? Gayatri Dev Vasudas have confessed that it is not happening. I am also saying it is not happening. But if somebody has done some kind of research and have some valid reasons to that, please write in the comment box. Never predict marriage from one for only one horoscope. Even if Kuja dosha is there, even if Kuja dosha promising the death, even if Kuja dosha is promising the separation, if it is not at all promised by the other horoscope, rather the horoscope is promising good longevity and a strong seventh house, this Kuja dosha has less to do with the other horoscope, the marriage may continue, right? So it should always be seen from both the charts. Third, always try to look for the conditions, not the dosha in a rudimentary form. So Rao Sahib always say that. Read the classics but apply it by yourself. See the what is this going on. I am not deviating from the classics. I am not saying Uttar Karamit is saying violence, valor, blood, accidents, all this kind of fighting. It is attached to Mangal compared to Ketu, yes. Around 57 or 97 significations to Mars in Uttar Karamit. So I'm not deviating from that. The only thing is that is Kuja dosha still relevant? Are the cancellations relevant too? Hmm? So that we have to see from the horoscope. If I have so much cancellation, the dosha is getting almost cancelled. And what are the usages of this kind of dosha? It is actually nothing. It is not a combination, it's nothing. It's just a placement of Mangal. And can we think of anything like Ketu dosha? Because Ketu is going to be a karak of separation, yes, compared to Mangal. Even if there is no fighting, it is introvert. The person will not enjoy the copulation. Copulation, I am not saying in physical form, the marital life so far. Okay, so think over it, perform your own research. Whenever I am saying up research, as I say, please start from classics. Never forget to go through Raman and Rao. Yes, people are asking, sir, why are you taking the name of K.N. Rao? I am actually blessed that a person like K.N. Rao worked in our era and has done significant research, modern research in astrology. I am really blessed. I am not a student of K.N. Rao. You can say indirectly because I have read his books, learned a lot from his books. From Raman, yes, but as I read his book, I read Raman's book, so his books are more pertinent to the current situation compared to Raman. Yes. So that's why I take his name. No personal attachment, no marketing, nothing involved. But yes, I must also suggest that it's a personal suggestion, go through his books. I have made one video also, Stalwarts of Hindi Astrology, Raman and Rao. So if you are not reading Raman and Rao, you are missing Hindu astrology a lot. Anyway, read them, practice into charts, then you reach conclusion. So please think over it because this may be going to happen like Sunny Side Sati, or even if it is there, it may be it is getting over aggravated. Kuja Dosha, in which area actually it is very strong, and 7 Kuja Dosha, can we only consider that? Can you only consider 4th or 7? Can we see the Kuja Dosha from the strength of Mars? So those things. If you can read, then there is nothing to worry about Kuja Dosha. There is nothing to worry about this matching and other things. Though the Dasamedaka, the Chhattis Gun matching is necessary. Uh, but always look for the Bhava Bhavas and Karaka, 7th Lord and Venus and Moon for sustenance of marriage. So a long video. I hope you enjoy it because this kind of videos are very much necessary nowadays where some research outputs can be produced because textual teaching is possible from books also. You can read from book, you understand, but further questions, further researches should be encouraged. If you have this kind of questions, not even pertaining to Kucha dosha, from any, like you are saying that yes, this dosha is there, but now it is not that much relevant. Please write in the comment box. Please share the videos as much as possible. Liking and disliking is subjective. People say that's a I'm not finding your face too appealing, even if I have this Gandhi spec, so that I disliked your video. I said completely okay, no problem. Then why don't you look at me at all? You can just listen to me. Don't look at my video. But anyway, so it is subjective. It does not matter to me at least. But for YouTube, some mandates are there. For me, if you share my video to maximum, those who are serious astro enthusiasts into astrological research, it may be helpful for them. So if Mahakala wants and Kala permits, that means if God wants and time permits, I'll come up with another new video soon. Till then, God bless you all. Om Namah Shivaya.